We have seen everything that can be done besides attending class, but we also wanted to share with you first-hand experiences from two of your future classmates. So we have with us Marilyn Lasota and Diego Ibaceta, and they're two experts on how to get good grades and also enjoy the university campus has to offer. So welcome.
Thank you for having us.
So what do you do? Why don't you start from telling a little bit about yourselves and where do you come from and what are you studying?
Yeah, so my name is Marilyn Lasota and I am a fourth-year student here at the university. I'm originally from Chicago. I studied politics, philosophy, and economics. And my first year at the university, I actually did a program called the International Foundation Program. So I studied Spanish for a year and then I started my degree, the politics, philosophy, and economics. So I'm technically in my third year, but my fourth year at the university.
Mm-hmm. What about you, Diego?
My name is Diego Ibaceta. I'm from Peru. I'm from Lima, but I've lived most of my life in Cajamarca, for those of you who know Peru. And I study a bilingual degree in economics, and I'm going into my fourth year.
Mm-hmm. Great. So you're almost stepping out the university, but our students are stepping out their homes right now, perhaps packing. What would you recommend them to get from home to bring here?
Well, in Pamplona it rains a lot, and so it's important to bring an umbrella and good rain boots. But I would also say that don't worry so much about packing a ton because Pamplona is also a normal city and there's a lot of great places to go shopping, and if you ever need any type of school supplies or dorm supplies, that there's many shops that you can go to. So that's what I did. Before I came, I actually only packed, I think, 2 suitcases in a backpack, and I got the rest of the things here because it can be stressful to go to, going to college already is stressful, and packing on top of that is another game in itself. But I would say that, don't worry so much about overpacking, that anything you miss, you can get here, so.
Mm-hmm.
I would also say that it's important to come with an open mind, especially if you come from, well, for me, I speak Spanish, but even though the Spanish I speak is not exactly the same Spanish that is spoken here. So, just having an open mind and maybe the first couple of days just like try to observe a lot, I think that helps to try to understand the culture. But I think Spaniards are super respectful and they are super welcoming to the international community that we have here, especially Pamplona, because it's a small city. They know we have a lot of international students coming here and they are very welcoming.
Mm-hmm. Wonderful. What would you like to have known before starting the university, especially when you are transitioning from high school to the university years, which might be a little bit, difficult to make friends or to adjust to the university life? What would you recommend our students to think about?
Well, first of all, I think one of the hardest transitions for me, at least, was that in the university, you're in charge of your own education.
Mm-hmm.
You don't have, your parents are not there to push you to go to school or something, so you need to take that on your hands. And I think that's good to, first of all, attend classes. Mm-hmm. It's really important. It's even if it's online or in-person classes. And I would say also to try to involve in as many activities as you can off school, like on campus, but off school in the sense of after you finish classes, there's a lot of activities you can do. For example, the museum or sports or volunteering. We have a great organization here called Tantaka that is really helpful. Mm-hmm. So I think getting involved in all of those things also makes you find new people and meet new people and make new friends. That's also something that really helped me to make myself feel like I'm in my new home as the University of Navarre.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, no, I totally agree. I think that it's scary, especially going to a new country. You're going to college, you're taking a big step in your life, but that there are so many things to get involved in. And I actually live in a Colegio Mayor, which is a student residence on campus with a lot of girls. And we have a lot of activities within our residence, which is really fun. And it's also open, to the university as well, but the girls who live there are kind of the ones that are running the show. But for me, that was something that was so helpful, especially as an international student coming in. I didn't know anybody. I came really, I maybe knew one girl here who I had contact with, but for me, kind of getting involved with my friends from the Colegio Mayor was a great way to start kind of, making friends, getting to know what's going on campus. But also there's so much to do around Pamplona. I think that we're so lucky that we live with so much nature around us. One of my favorite plans to do is to go to the Ciudadela, the Citadel in English. It's this big fortress in the middle of Pamplona that is a beautiful park, and there's so much space to kind of, go hang out with your friends or go read a book or go for a run. So for me, I think that, taking the time to also get to know Pamplona and what Pamplona has to offer is a great experience outside of living on campus and being kind of involved at the university. So.
Mm-hmm. And we also have many activities, not only in Pamplona, but also in San Sebastián. And I don't know if you come from, Marilyn was in a Colegio Mayor, you have experience perhaps living in a piso, or have friends from different places, from San Sebastián as well?
Yeah, sure. When I came here, I came to a piso, I didn't came to a Colegio Mayor. But it's also a great experience. You're more involved in the Pamplonica culture per se because you live with people that are from here. So I would say that also helps a lot, like to know the different cultures that Spain has to offer. And I would say it's also important for the students to take the opportunity to meet those new people because at the beginning, at least, you will feel that Pamplonicas are kind of a bit close. But once you take the first step and you really get to know them, you have friends for life. And also in San Sebastián, I mean, my brother just came here this year for the School of Engineering, and I've been there a couple of times, and I think that the community is also as welcoming as it is here. They have a beautiful beach. So
the campus is beautiful.
Yeah. So I mean, there's a lot of things to do here, and in Pamplona or in San Sebastián, a lot of cultural activities proposed by the ayuntamientos, which are the city halls here, that really help the students and give the opportunity to get to know and get involved in the culture here.
Yeah. You also come from big cities, Lima and Chicago. How do they compare to the safety that you can feel in Pamplona or in San Sebastián? How does it feel, the difference?
Well, Pamplona is a small city compared to Chicago, obviously, but I think that Pamplona is actually one of the safest cities in the world. I actually heard that before I came, and when I got here, I was like, okay, yeah, it's true. In the sense that there's not, that you can go very easily from one place to the other, and it's a small city. It's a city in the sense that there's buses and there's a lot of, there's traffic, there's people, walking in the streets, but in the sense that, walking even late at night, like you obviously have to take precautions and you have to be careful and make sure that you're not, doing anything dumb. But at the same time, I have never felt, in danger, or I've never felt like even scared to walk on campus. I also think that Pamplona has great public transport. So Diego was saying earlier that he had bought a bus card, but that he didn't really use it that much because it's not that easy. I mean, it's not that hard to walk from one place to the next, but in the sense that if you needed to take the bus or if you needed to ride a bike, that it's very easy to get from one place to the other. So.
What about the transition from high school to university? Sometimes at the beginning it might be a little difficult to adjust to a new way of working, studying, and living. What are the tips that you will share with our students about maybe how to deal with professors, assignments, and how to prepare for exams?
Yes, sure. So as I was saying earlier, I think the hardest part for me was that in university you have to take your education in your own hands. So I would definitely say organization is key to that. In my case, I bought an agenda, and I find that's a really great acquisition. So if you guys can buy one, it will be great. But if you don't, you can have your phone or whatever calendar you have at home. But I would say try to organize yourself and try to have some time to do the work after classes. There's also homeworks, assignments, and things. And also for those of you who go to San Sebastián, my brother told me that he found really useful to do the exercises after class so like he could reinforce what he was learning. And also, meeting with teachers, I know that all of you will get a personal assessor, so they have also that, and it's really useful. Teachers are really available for you, and you can really go to them and ask them if you don't understand anything. And also, if you have any problem at all, besides classes, administrative, the secretariat office is always open and welcoming to the students. And even the international relations office, if you have any problem with immigration, you can always go to them or reach out to the international committee that's also available for you guys. So if you have any trouble, just contact us. Yeah,
and I would definitely reinforce about the professors. I think that in high school, it's easy to kind of, maybe study at the last minute or kind of, because your classes are very much back to back and your parents are taking care of you and you're living at home. But when you're on your own, it's really up to you to take into your hands your education and to make sure that you're learning the material that you understand. And for me, something that was so helpful and that's been helpful since the beginning is that this university is small enough that you can really get to know your professors well. And so if you can take advantage of, if you have questions or if you don't understand material, the professors have office hours available, and you can go and talk with them even about things outside of class. Like Diego was saying, that if you have even personal problems, like there's always a professor or an assessor who's able to help you. For me though, I've enjoyed so much getting to know my professors and learning about their experiences and going a little bit deeper into the topics that I'm learning in class, but also like in their offices and outside of the classroom. So but I would definitely say organization is key. Be realistic with yourself, have a good time, but don't forget that it's important to do your homework and to show up at class, because that's where you learn. So.
Mm-hmm. Coming back to safety issues also, you experienced the explosion of the pandemic and also the transition to face-to-face classes to online remote class. What was your experience about that?
Well, it was kind of funny because I remember I was just finishing an exam and then I got the mail that university was canceled. But I think the University of Navarre has always been there with us all these steps of the way. So they have been very supportive. The teachers, they have opened even extra office hours for us to, if we have any doubts. The Secretariat office has also been available for us. Even the International Relations office also made a group available and made time available for the students that needed any kind of help. Mm-hmm. And also the university already had a platform that was used for online teaching, but they repotentiated it, so it kind of supports all the learning material that we need to have. And I think the university was really supportive of us all the way through, so I didn't think that the transition was so sudden. I, on the contrary, thought it was super smooth. And I think it was really, really good to be here, to be supported and taken care of.
I definitely agree. And I also think that kind of going back to the part of the professors and the university kind of being there for the students, especially during this time of pandemic, it was kind of crazy for everybody. It happened very fast. All of us were in shock, when everything was announced and that things were closing down. But from the beginning, since we were told that we had to stay home or go back to our homes, the university has made themselves so available for international students, especially, to make sure that they feel accompanied, that they feel safe, that whatever's going to happen, that the university is going to be there for them. And something that I really have noticed is that the university is there for the students, that we're not treated like clients or the university is trying to receive money from us or anything like that. That really we're people and we're students who are here at this university to learn, but that we've been taken care of in such a beautiful way, really. And I think that also all the programs that have been coming out about Preparados, which is prepared to in English, that the university is prepared to do whatever it takes to really make sure that the students feel accompanied and feel safe, and that we're going to get through this all together. So.
Well, thank you for being with us to share your experiences and what feels like being on campus in Pamplona, in San Sebastian. And now we will put a video that will explain more deeply all the different measures taken on campus to keep your safety our #1 priority.